The Vigilant Mindset. Dave LeBlanc. 4 years now, the catchphrases, expect fires and expect victims, have been used to foster a mindset that we as firefighters should have every time we go out the door to a reported fire. Expect fire was born from the Andy Fredericks quote about the garbage man not getting excited when he sees a pile of garbage. A garbage man doesn't get excited when he turns the corner and sees trash because he is expecting it. Likewise, you should be expecting fire on every run. Lieutenant Andy Fredericks. FDNY Squad 18. Now, no doubt there's a vast difference between seeing a pile of cardboard on the sidewalk and pulling up to fire showing from 3 windows, and you are bound to feel some level of excitement. But it is a possibility, and keeping your mind focused on that possibility will help with your ability to function. However, maintaining that level of vigilance isn't easy, especially when we respond to far more false alarms than actual fires. It is easy for our level of complacency to increase and for us to let our guard down. The result is never good for the public and rarely good for us. Complacency allows us to get caught by surprise when we pull up to fire showing. This lack of mental preparation affects our ability to perform a good size up and also our ability to act with purpose. It's been proven that hormonal heart rate increase cause both our cognitive and psychomotor abilities to suffer. Bias to action. The fire service is predicated on a bias to action that is the tendency to favor action over inaction. Our careers are literally built preparing to act at any given moment in a capacity that is filled with risk for our citizens as well as us. This preparation is partly physical, as we must prepare ourselves to execute the skills necessary to search, vent, and extinguish fire. But this preparation is also mental, where we prepare our minds for where our bodies have to go. This mental conditioning also enables us to not be surprised by what we encounter at any given incident. That lack of surprise allows us to control our emotions and operate effectively. Our surprise can lead to fear or hesitation. It can lead us to make bad decisions. It can lead to us being ineffective, or more importantly, it can lead to our deaths. Act like you have been there before. When we show up on the fire ground, we need to be able to perform like we have trained for. We shouldn't have to consciously think of all the steps required to perform a specific task. This should be part of our muscle memory, allowing our mind to focus on the scene in front of us and constantly evaluate conditions and actions needed. J.D. Ducharme was on the Make Do Suburban Firefighter podcast and discussed our risk management techniques. He more appropriately dubbed it risk assessment. We don't manage our risk, although some of our actions will reduce it. Instead, we assess the risk involved with the next task we need to perform, and then we weigh that risk against our abilities and resources to determine if we can accomplish the task. Much like expect fire, the phrase expect victims was born from the same thought process. We should respond to building fires with the mindset that there will be victims in the building. The fire started somehow, and the newspapers are filled with stories of firefighters pulling occupants from vacant buildings and citizens surviving unthinkable conditions because firefighters made the decision to act as they were trained and search the building for life. It is critical as firefighters we don't lose sight of why we are here. And while our safety is important, we swore an oath to protect the lives and property of the citizens we serve. That does not mean we recklessly risk our lives, but we should accept the risk that comes with our job and rely on our training to keep us safe while upholding the oath we took. Our jobs are not to be safe, but to be effective and do that as safely as possible. Senior Chief Robert Howell, United States Navy SEALs. Being a firefighter in today's fire service can be compared to being a backup quarterback on an NFL football team. You practice during the week, take snaps and execute plays, and then you sit on the bench and wait for your moment. When your moment comes, you are expected to perform that same as the starting quarterback. It is the same team, all the other players are the same, the backup just has to stand in and execute. Much like you, as a firefighter, can train with your shift, and then spend hours at the station or on routine calls, waiting for your moment to execute at a building fire, falling back on your training and experience to perform your job. If you are spending that time preparing for your moment, and more importantly, if your mindset isn't expecting that you'll be going to work when you respond to that reported fire, then you are setting yourself up for failure. More importantly, you are setting yourself up to fail to meet the expectations of the very public you swore to protect. If we prepare ourselves physically to meet the challenges of firefighting, we are building in our safety. If we prepare ourselves mentally to expect a fire on every run and to expect victims of those fires, then we will operate from a position of confidence. Confidence will erase the fears and doubts that come from the unexpected.